badasses.
Ecto Radio.
Nothing in his path was safe. Not the planes in the sky. Not the ships at sea. Nor the vehicles on the ground.
Ecto Radio. The ghost hunting badasses.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Only on the Supernatural Radio Network. Beer-fueled, whiskey-filtered paranormal radio.
Okay, and welcome to Ecto Radio. Interesting program tonight.
Yes.
So we got some people in the chat already.
We do.
Which is a good thing. Because as you can see, you can't see. So
as you can see, you can't
see.
see.
They cannot see. There's a sensor bar currently over this section.
Yeah, I noticed that one.
See, racers
What
making...
are we, Nickelodeon? Turn it off.
Well, see...
Like you have a sensor bar where you're sitting.
It costs money to take it off.
What?
Cost money to take it off.
Whoa, 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 whoa. When did I become the Ecto Radio prostitute?
Hold on, I'll show you something very interesting. I'm not saying this is what you're worth, so don't get me wrong. But someone actually gave me this today as change. Is that even legal?
What is it?
It's $1 ripped up by the Tasmanian devil and then
Yes,
take back
as long
to...
as you have all the pieces.
Well, that's the thing. Is it? I'm not. No, I don't have enough money for how much it's worth to unleash the
Really?
the tie in
And
the
you won't even
Zeppelin
give me a
race
good
over
dollar?
there.
You give me like...
No, I'm not giving you that. I'm saying you're not a stripper.
taking
I'm not.
it.
Keep. Oh, fine. I'm just saying.
Okay, there's $1. 99 more to go.
99.
No, she's actually making good on her bet. Remember, we had, how many weeks ago? 3 weeks?
3.
2?
No, 2. 3. 2.
We did the whole zombie thing, and there was, the loser had to wear negligee.
Something racy. So it's only appropriate that racy racer loses.
So,
But it's censored.
not anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, there it is. So,
Boobs everywhere.
made good on her bet. That's cool. Okay. A couple things I got to talk about real quick. I took it to chew my ice. Oh, thank you for the margarita that
You're
came
welcome.
out.
To chew ice is when you're on the air, by the way. Very legit. Very professional is what I meant to say.
Yeah. So, a couple things we're going to put out first. We're going to have our first installment of the Undead Outbreak Response Team in the second hour. So you can win points to win stuff.
There you go.
Also, some people have been talking about the Ecto Radio app's been malfunctioning. I've been trying to figure out what's going on with it. I cannot figure out what's happening with it. It updates, but you can't see the updates. So, yeah. And it's doing it with the other shows, too. So that's really being a pain in the butt. So I'm working on that. One of the things we are going to do right off the bat, though, is news because Racer's computer can't handle the sight of her. It's the boobs. The boobs are totally affecting her computer.
The machines are starting to feel.
We're going to do
My
news
princess
first,
farts.
in other words. So, here we go.
Welcome to Post-Mortem, the latest paranormal news with Racer.
Is an orb, what we call an orb, that's going to come right across the other bed and just kind of disappear right at the camera.
You're going to see the shape around the corner which resembles a face.
Oh, pardon me, that's your ass.
We have to dig from here so as not to be seen. Come on, bitches.
Okay, so I went searching for news, and I actually found it's kind of a three-parter here, but it's from paranormalnews.com, and somebody named Michael said, I can't find any hunting regulations or laws against hunting extraterrestrials in my searching. I mean, if they're not from here and they're not human, they are not any kind of protected animal list. They would not even be considered an animal here on Earth. I think it would be fair game year-round. Bow season, rifle season, musket season, pistol season, and heck, if you find one in the water, I would say spearfishing. So this person is basically asking, is it illegal to hunt extraterrestrials? Because I guess in some Pacific Northwest states, they have made it illegal to shoot at Bigfoot.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
So, somebody named Ruben responded and claimed that on Title 14, Section 1211 of the Code of the Federal Regulations on October 5th, 1982, Dr. Clifford of the Pentagon announced that contact between U.S. citizens and extraterrestrials or their vehicles is strictly illegal. You can be jailed or fined up to $5,000. So when I found this, Hitman and I actually went online and we kind of, we're looking like, is this true or not? And we found out that no, it's not actually true. But in Title 14, Section 1211, the Code of Federal Regulations, it is known as the Extraterrestrial Exposure Law. And what this does is if you are exposed to extraterrestrial life or you are an astronaut that has been, out in space and you found some cool plants or you came back with a new little friend, the government can quarantine you for any unspecified amount of time.
But they deny the existence of...
That's not what it's for.
It's not what it's for.
What they're trying to they're trying to prevent space herpes.
Yes.
Oh, like in Ice Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So basically examples would be like any type of plant matter, celestial body. The government could require you to undergo an unspecified time in quarantine. If you do not report it, you can get fined up to $5,000 and imprisonment for up to 1 year. So part of that was true, but part of that was false. So should you come across any aliens and you decide to hoard them, yes, you could possibly go to jail for a year, $5,000, which I think you could probably get a lot more money if you just sold your new friend on eBay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and for those people that, really follow the parapsychology and everything, physicist and parapsychologist Helmut Schmidt passed away last month. He pioneered research into the effects of the human consciousness using machines called the random number generator. Random number generator is a computational or physical device designed to generate a sequence of numbers or symbols that lack any pattern. Schmidt was appointed the research director in 1969 at the Rhine Research Center for Parapsychology, and he held his position until 1973. And he later worked after that for the Mind Science Foundation in San Antonio, Texas. So, great mind, now gone. Rest in peace. And we're ready.
Okay.
I just hear that name and I shudder. Nigger bitch! Do it again. Nigger bitch! Dumb bitch! Did you call me? What? I'm sorry, I heard dumb bitch. I assumed you were speaking to me. No, I'm talking to her. Your name is dumb bitch too? No wonder I've been getting all your mail. Do you think we could be related? Because there are a lot of us dumb bitches.
Okay, so this is actually from September 6th, so this happened last week, but Claudia Schiffer moved into a ghost-free country house. The couple have decided to move out of their home in England temporarily until it's renovated, and will be moving back after a series of exorcisms have been placed on the house. Schiffer claims that she called in the exorcist after she was told that there were 2 cursed pictures and the ghost of a mother called Penelope on the property. So I guess it pays to have a beep ton of money, because you can, move out of your $10 million home into a $5 million home while it's being renovated because of, your quote-unquote haunted paintings. And I believe Wicked Wendy and I talked about haunted paintings.
Oh, yes, we did. The one on eBay.
Yes, that was, how much was that one going for?
Oh, I don't know.
Like thousands of dollars.
Like $3,000 or $30,000.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous like that. But it's amazing how these celebrities will buy into all of this, woogie boogie stuff. If I could get a hold of a celebrity and tell them, pay me $1 million and I will get rid of ghosts in your house because of your haunted farm painting, I'll do it. So, but Claudia Schiffer will soon be moved back into her house. So that's all. Good. Yeah. Pays to have money, guys.
Yes, it does.
Yes, like the ghost tours on I can't say it now. The royal residence in England, begins with a K. Kingston?
Kingston?
Yeah.
No, Kingston's Jamaica. I'm sorry. Kingsbury?
It's Ken. I can't even pronounce it now.
Kensington.
There you go. That
might be it.
That is it. That's definitely it.
What is it?
There's ghost tours now there. You can take a ghost tour in the palace.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So same thing, right? All right. Okay. So, barring all that, I'll turn this down a little bit here. I'll let it play out though. Man, my ears get hot when them things on. Okay, so
Yeah.
we had our show last week. Got a whole bunch of questions on various things concerning that, so I thought we'd go over those, and then just do whatever we have to do after that. So, okay, the first question we got, it says, I'm curious about the nature of your investigation reports. They're talking about on sgha.net. They seem to contradict what you're saying about how to do investigations.
Why do people
from
do
Steven.
that?
Well, I can understand why. So I want to go back and explain a little bit of history and how everything kind of ties in together. First up, our research method mainly being a controlled experiment. If I went out and gave everything that we know about a place, there goes your controls. I mean, my
Right, 'cause
members could go online and go,
biased
oh,
and-
we're going to a non-haunted place. Look at that. It's right here. It's all online.
Yeah.
So we can't really tell everything. But the reason those are even there was a long time ago when I was talked into a website, which I was originally against. And they're like, hey, look, dude, it's like a cool, filing system. You look, you can click, 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 and look, there's all your information. Oh, okay, well, this is pretty cool, better than the paper method,
True.
So we went ahead and then, created a website and all that. And then the next thing was we would have members doing tasks, menial tasks that are important for an investigation, but they would ask, why do I got to map the building, or why do I got to do this? And the excuse that came out was, well, we need it for the investigation report. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we need it for the report. And so it kind of became an excuse. And if you look at a lot of our investigation reports on SGHA, a lot of them, it's really like a scrapbook of the, investigation. Oh, here's a great picture of Bob, and here's a map of the place, and a little bit of history, but,
Great picture of Bob.
I mean, and that's really what it is.
There are some great pictures of Bob. Let's not.
That's really all it is. It kind of developed that way, and for a long time, it was a way to get people to do things. When we came out of that double blind standard to a single blind, it's not as relevant now. But what is in the works for the SGHA website, if you have been paying attention, there's a new design. And slowly, one by one, pages are getting changed. And one of the big things that we're doing now is we're creating composite reports. And our composite reports are, we're condensing all of these multiple investigations into one report with all the information in there. And by themselves, they're probably the size of most people's websites. So the St. James is about 80% complete. I'm not anticipating it getting done till after October, but eventually they're going to take over, and we'll have nothing but composite reports. So the process is there. It's just, a matter of upgrading things and what we were using those for. I had two purposes, really. Another purpose for that investigation report. The hope was if another group came through and did an investigation, they would share their data and their information with us, and we can work together and help figure it out. That's not happened in 26 years. Never had it happen. I never had anybody, oh yeah, we investigated this place. Here's what we got. You guys want to get together and and have a melding of minds, so to speak, and compare data? No, never had it happen, unfortunately. But that was the other reason we put them up there. So there you go. A guy named Eric asked me, how do you maintain a blind standard on investigations? Could members just Google location and bias themselves by looking the site up online? Yeah, they could. To some degree, there's a trust element, and I think you just have to know your people. I can tell you, early part of 2000, we didn't have a lot of people that I could rely on. I knew they would do that, so we wouldn't tell them where they were going. Just what information they needed. You're traveling 75 miles. We're going to stay overnight. Hotel cost is X amount of bucks. We wouldn't tell them where they were going. We didn't give them a chance to Google it. And a couple times, the way we found out is I busted them. We were on investigations, meaning that blind standard's in effect.
Right.
And they're walking through, and, oh, that's where this happened. Like, you get over here. Smack, smack. You Googled it. Checked it out. You knew about it. Really, we haven't been in investigation mode in quite a long time. We've been in more of a research phase. I'd say for like the past 4 years, really heavily into a research phase. So, yeah. But yeah, they can. You just got to know your people, and if you have to, you got to keep things from them to maintain your control.
Yep. So that's a good. That was a good thing brought up there.
See, I can't read this person's name that I wrote with my own handwriting.
Have another shot.
Why is it? Yeah, I had some that good scotch earlier.
What is that? 10-year-old scotch?
10-year-old single malt.
Oof.
This is what Chuck and we and Chuck are going to be interviewing some people in Scotland in I think a few weeks. That's why I brought the scotch in. I was telling him that
it looks like Mark from here.
Okay, to understand them, we need to have at least 3 or 4 shots of scotch, and we'll communicate great. But anyway, yeah.
That's actually
so I brought it in. I already tapped into it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, and the good thing is, the $80 bottle of scotch, no one else in the studio likes it, so I was worried that somebody might, hey, this is good stuff. That would not be good. Anyway, Mark, let's see, why is a controlled experiment the best way to do research? There's three main means, okay? Number one, money. Doesn't cost a lot of cash to do it. David Roundtree, I don't know if those of you that follow him, he's doing more experiments on his wormhole hypothesis. He bought an EM pulse generator. It runs off like gigawatts of power. $10,000.
Oof.
Great if you have $10,000 or access to it. If you don't, this is the next best way. And really, for most research, unless you have a really good hypothesis and you're really, really sure, and you're willing to invest thousands of dollars, it's just not an option. You know. The other thing is it does trend the variable that ghosts do not exist. If ghosts do not exist, then our positive locations aren't really positive. They're negative. So it's always going to turn out as a negative result, regardless. As you're going through, everything's always going to balance out to be the same, which would mean ghosts do not exist, when that could definitely be possible. So it trends that variable as well. Also, it's very reliable. If you keep your controls intact and you're going through and you're doing your investigations and there's no bias, you're controlling that, and you're verifying, everything else, ruling out your possible explanations that, are explainable. When you get results, you really can't argue. The data just tells you everything. There's no, well, I think it's my opinion. There's none of that. It's very straight down the line. So I think that's why it's kind of the best. And then I was also asked to talk a little bit more about the interviewing witness process, and I found a great article. It's called Preparing to Interview a Witness, 10 Easy Steps. And this is not paranormal, by the way. This is for like a private investigator, but he has a lot of good things in there. Let's see if I can read it in this light. On regular light, I can read it.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Right, just the first line of each step.
Step 1, the first consideration in preparing for any interview is that you must use critical thinking. This means that you not only must possess all material relevant to your case, but you must also examine and organize the material in such a way that every piece of information sharpens the focus of your analysis. Step 2, simply put, the following areas must be addressed in some fashion. Who, what, when, and why. Where, what, which, and how.
Exactly. One of the biggest questions I think that's important to ask people, most important question you can ask, when they're telling you about what's happening, why do you think it's a ghost? If you're looking for clues and you're trying to figure it out, the answer to that question is going to point you which way to look. Okay, we're going down the hallway, we heard a noise. That's why I thought it was a ghost. Well, there's nobody in the hallway. Well, if I can determine otherwise, you solve it. So, that's important.
Step 3. Resources available to the interviewer should include prior statements, comparison of those statements, counseling records, school records, child protective service records. We don't need those.
What?
Professional evaluations. This is for a private investigator, but it's similar. observations made by others. Step 4, information should give you 5 basic areas of exploration. Past conduct, past statements, historical information, prior allegations, and similar allegations. Step 5, an alternative hypothesis. In conducting the interview, you must have several alternative hypotheses for the allegations being alleged and the motive behind these said allegations. Step 6, create your own folder. Use 1 3-ring binder to organize important documents. Generally, the following documents should be included: all statements made by the witness, any background information, autobiographical information or history, counseling information, school records, any collateral statements by other witnesses, and any demonstrative evidence like photographs, drawings, and so forth.
Yeah. So a lot of this doesn't apply. This is, but see, if you're going to do it properly, as I was saying last week,
right?
You know, using the CSI model, we'll call it the law enforcement model. It's the same process.
Yeah, you need the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Well, maybe not the
Step
why.
7, I don't know if it would really apply, but it's conducting the interview in a hostile environment.
Not really.
No.
Why? Why were you up there?
Oh yeah, so I guess why would? Yeah.
You know why? Yeah.
So all you got to do is just answer the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
So step 8 is questions must be relevant and material. Questions asked must be relevant. In this case, the evidence rule is viewed to some to be general, and sometimes a prosecutor will attempt to stop you from being relevant and material questions. Not necessarily a prosecutor, but like other people who are trying to question your investigation or your interview.
Right.
Step 9. This is an important one, in my opinion. Ask open-ended questions. No matter how much you prepare, you will forget to ask a question or find yourself leading a witness instead of obtaining free recall information.
Yes.
Remember that open-ended questions allow a witness to answer in their own words what happened.
That's the easiest way to put it. Let them do it in their own words. You don't want to put words in their mouth.
And you
so
don't
did
wanna,
the ghost
and you
have
don't
a
wanna
big
lead 'em.
ass, or did it have a tiny ass? You're leading the...
Well, if your ghost hunting racer... Just kidding. Ghetto boutique.
You find the orbs.
Step 9. Utilize all resources during the interview. Utilize all of your resources that you have at your disposal to obtain as much information as possible about the witness you are interviewing. So basically find out about who you're interviewing. The whole thing, are they on medication? Are they taking said medication?
Well, see, a lot of these events, really it's things happen that the witnesses misinterpret, and they're happening, in a sequence of different things, and then they're biased by their belief system. They think it's a ghost, therefore these things have correlation or meaning to them. And if you analyze things individually, you can figure it out, And
the last step, I think, step 10, it's really important too, is you may only get one chance to interview a witness. Being prepared and thorough will make you a successful interviewer. Remember that you need to get it right the first time because people generally do not allow second interviews.
Yes.
And I would read the biblical quotation at the bottom, but I won't.
Yeah, we don't need that. But give you an idea of some of this misleading stuff that does happen. I had one instance where a guy was saying, well, my cats won't go into this room. This was one of the reasons of why. Why do you think it's haunted? My animals won't go in there. So we had a cat, and we got a little kitty treat, like you get, pet store. So we got some kitty treats when we went to do the interviewing, and while they were interviewing them, I was upstairs. Here, kitty, here's a little treat for you. And the cat had no problem going in there to get the treat. I was sitting there petting him. He's all chilled out. Maybe from his perspective, when he's watching the cat's like, hey, it smells like human butt in there. I don't want to go in there. Whatever reason the cat isn't going in there, it's not because of it, it's not haunted. Just the cat, he has never seen it go in there. Different things with the environment itself. And we were talking the other week about there was that one we went on where the noises was coming from outside. It sounded like something was in the wall, and this was coupled with a urban legend of, there was a guy that was killed and was, bricked up inside the wall and whatnot. And it turned out the noise was caused by the TV antenna. They had one of those really big, tall pole TV antennas attached to the side of the house, and it was loose. When the wind was blowing, it would rattle, and it would create a noise from inside the wall. It sounded like somebody in there tapping, scraping. But yeah, the answer's there. But and that's why the witness interviews are crucial. It's the most important thing you do. Yep. Everything else is really kind of insignificant to this. If this isn't done right, everything else is jacked up.
This is what the foundation of a good research and or hunt is all about. I mean, this is what leads to the next step. So everything else will either fall into place or fall apart. And
people have a tendency to do it poorly. It's just
well, yeah.
I when you get with people, if the group you're with, they're more inclined to believe than skeptical. They want to get in there and they want to do their thing. They want to go in the dark rooms. They want to try to experience what the witness experienced, hopefully, which would be whatever a ghost or whatever the hell the person reported. They rush through that interview process and it's not done right. And often we got to back up. I got to pull them aside. Okay, what about this? What about this? It helps having them there with you when you're going through, because a lot of times, even if you have, we have this huge document for our group, multiple pages, has everything, what kind of questions to ask compared to what, type of event they experienced, whether it was an odor or visual thing or whatever. But as you're going through and you're going around and you're up in there and well, I didn't know there was an attic door up there, let's ask them, where were you standing exactly? Which way was the noise coming from? There might be a question that arises. And like you said, you're only going to get to interview them once. Unless it's, you establish a really good report. But that's the big thing as well. You really got to make a good impression going in. Your whole team. That's why,
because you never get a second chance for a first impression.
Well, I did an interview with the Albuquerque Horror Examiner. And that came out last week, I think. I posted it on Facebook. But one of the big questions he asked was, do you guys use psychics? So I explained to him, no, and here's some of the reasons why. But one of the bigger ones for where we are is we're still in a, granted we're a little moderate compared to a lot of places in the United States, but we have a high Catholic population. Well, psychic, talking to the dead, is considered occult.
Right.
And what people don't get into their heads is, to them, that's you're doing demon stuff.
Yeah,
that's of the devil.
That's yeah.
I've been
satanic.
We've actually, there's several places that I've, almost got the door shut, because they're like, oh, ghost hunter, you want to do what? You guys use them psychics, and when I tell them no, okay.
Oh, well then,
yeah. As long as you're not doing that.
It's amazing how they change their tune.
You'd be amazed. It will slam doors on you in the state of New Mexico. Same thing with Texas. Texas is even worse. And a lot of people think, oh, it's so natural to use them. No, you limit yourself because you're not understanding the mentality of the people, in the region, too. I think the same thing. Deep South, you're going to have issues.
Oh, the Bible Belt,
Oh, yeah.
Dirty South.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Well, being from that area, I can tell you that anything occultish, you better keep to yourself. I've seen girls get beat up and their little pentacles ripped off their necks and beat with them down in Florida. You don't do that Wiccan stuff. But I'm a good witch. No, you're a bitch witch, and they just start whipping.
Yeah, it's bad. And
you
it's
will
love
Jesus, anyway. And they beat you with the I've seen it. I've seen kids with Slayer shirts, mainly this guy, get roughed up for just having a Slayer T-shirt.
Yeah.
They're real.
So you just got to watch it. You got to really be careful in how you do your thing. And a lot of it is also explaining your process. We're here to try to figure it out. It's a mystery. We're just trying to solve it. And you go through and you get that process.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And plus, the number one thing that you always say is, how are you going to use something paranormal to explain something else paranormal?
There's that, but there's also reliability. How accurate are they? Well, they're not within a scientific standard, and they haven't been proven anyway.
Right, yeah, you can't.
And then in our system particularly, it's dangerous because we have that positive-negative control thing. And you guys don't know. My members of my group have no clue if you're going to a negative or positive. And what if I'm in a negative? Oh, yes, I feel him. He's right here.
I feel the power.
I know he's full of crap already. It's like, I made up the story of Bill hanging himself from the rafters. I know there's no ghost here. But it just goes to show there was when we were talking about Tombstone a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I first went to Tombstone, Big Nose Kate's was the place to go. It was the one with the stories. It was all about the swamper. Oh, this place down the street, they might have one or two.
And they were
referring
talking
to the
about
bird
the
cage.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and this ties into this whole thing about witnesses doing a motive. Okay, well, Tombstone, if you understand that town, they have a tourist season. And if you go there outside that tourist season, that place is dead.
Yeah.
We're talking when it gets really, really hot in the summer, it dies down. Right now is kind of their busy time because in the fall they get a lot of the snowbirds coming in.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, they are really competitive with each other.
Yeah.
And okay, so now the birdcage has 22 ghosts. Now I'm saying it's haunted or not, but it went from 2 to 22 in the time since we've been there, and now they're doing ghost tours in the evening. Everybody's trying to get their dollar to make it through the year.
And, I can't really
season.
blame them.
I don't either. That's brilliant management.
Yeah, I mean,
but the thing
give
is,
the
you can
people what
see
they
this.
want, right?
If these ghost hunting shows like Taps or what was the other? Who are the other people?
The ones that went down
Discovery
there?
Channel
Ghost Labs?
guys, were they
The
Ghost
Ghost
Labs,
Ghost Adventures.
all of them. If they had really known, if they were these big experts that they claim they are, all of them would have known that. Wow, Big Nose Kate's. They totally ignored it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
In fact, when we were there,
they also ignored the Bell Union. They ignored a couple.
remember
spots.
we were there.
But remember, you guys are talking about idiots, so don't.
That's true.
Don't hold your breath for these
we
guys.
were there, and the tables. There wasn't enough room for several of us to sit with everybody else.
Where was this at?
That
At
Big Nose
Kate's. It was kind of a little crowded in there.
It was. So we
A lot of
sat up
people.
in
So
the
we
VIP.
were-
So the elitists went to a different restaurant without telling us.
No. This is when we were
Oh,
sitting
okay.
in the gazebo-looking deal.
Oh, right.
The VIP section, the cool kids table.
Even though we made enough seats for them, but
So-
it's fine.
We got up there, and sure enough, what's the first thing that we heard? Was everybody was coming up there and telling us, here's what's been going on. All
yeah.
the ghost stories.
Yeah, the waitress
It's-
that had been there for
Mhm.
only a couple months already had 6 experiences or something.
Yeah. So. Now, in the restaurant thing, that's just, I know where to eat. E. coli? Not good. Nah, cheap over here. You know, I totally forgot about the burger joint, though. I can't believe that.
What?
Right
And
next
here we
to
were all
Big Nose
broke,
Kate's.
too.
Right next to Big Nose Kate's. There's a little burger joint that is awesome, and I totally just...
We could
And
have been eating burgers, and yeah.
And Zero and Blue's
skipped my
favorite
mind.
food is burgers.
Burgers.
Yes.
These
Yeah.
are... Oh,
Well,
man,
now we know
they
what
are
to do
good.
next time we go.
We just have to go back and try the burgers now.
And Wicked Wendy and I never got our coffee.
I know.
Your what?
I know, our coffee.
And don't forget about the original Tombstone Pizza,
What? Where
which
was
was
it
at the hotel we were staying
What's
at.
the name of that restaurant where we ate dinner the first night?
Oh, the
Longhorn.
Frontier? Is it the
Longhorn.
Longhorn?
Longhorn.
They have the best coffee I have ever
Awesome.
had.
Best breakfast.
They're
too. Oh. Yum.
It's Tombstone's still in my top 3 places to move. Still.
I just totally spaced it. I'm getting old. I forget stuff. My vision's going. You saw it. Right here. I can't read my...
It happens.
I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
You just need
Been
glasses.
around too long.
You just need to go get glasses.
You know, I'm doing that whole calorie counter thing. Ooh, we ought to do that. That would be another good contest.
What? I'm not competing in any more of your contests.
No, wait thing.
You get in trouble.
No, see, here's the thing. You know, as you know, being overweight, it increases your chances of diabetes, especially when you get older and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got convinced to I need to at least be more knowledgeable of what I'm eating and how much calories. So I found this little app called Calorie Counter, and I've been you just log in what it is you eat, and it counts how many vitamins you got and all that, and how many calories and everything else. And haven't lost a damn pound yet, but I was bad this weekend because of football. But we got to do a weight contest.
Really? Are you saying we're all fat?
No, I'm saying
I think
we
he's
can
calling us
all
all
be
fat, guys.
healthier. For the zombie apocalypse, we
Are
can
we
all
fat?
be a little healthier.
Yeah. You're the skinniest one here.
I know.
Hello?
Says Scrawny-kins
Hello?
over there.
I got the hardest thing, man. I got
You've got
a
a beer
gut
belly.
from hell.
So?
Yeah,
that's
and
the
I
beer
only
belly.
have thighs, a butt.
I've got a beer belly and a
That
butt
we-
and
A
thighs
gut.
and
No.
yeah.
Flabby arms.
That's right. They kind of wave at you when you wave at them. Yeah.
I'm saying what we could do.
But I know. But can I? Oh.
We do a percentage. We make it where it's even for everybody.
I will. Not.
I'm just saying.
What are we doing? Ecto Radio's Biggest Loser? Is
No.
that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's you, but we can't do that. Oh, I'm sorry.
That
I
was
didn't mean to
messed
do
up.
that.
No, it wasn't. It was right on par for the show. I was wondering how long it was going to be before
Ah.
that.
I always got to take my stabs at
Yeah,
zero. when
I was.
he's in there.
I was like, we're running late, man. We're like 2
If
steps
I don't,
down.
if I be nice to him, he actually comes up to me. What's wrong, bro?
Yeah, I worry.
You okay?
I worry. We got a certain relationship and rapport.
It's a guy thing.
It is a guy thing.
They
yeah.
can't understand. They're
No.
females. They don't know the whole, punch in the arm. They don't get it.
They don't get it. Yeah.
Okay,
How
so
we-
anyway, that's
How we call each other names.
that's going to do it for this. For the Paranormal Hour, we got the horror show coming up, Ground Zero, and we're going to be talking about werewolf movies. You're probably going to end up bailing, I guess, before this starts.
Yeah, I got to get to
Yeah, he's got
whatever job.
got to
I
take
think
care
I
of your
call
hose
it.
downtown.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about werewolf movies, so I want you guys to be thinking about your top 3 werewolf movies, what they are, and why they are your top 3. And then, yeah. I got to pull some tunes up here real quick. You got anything to add, Racer, before I kill this?
No.
You're supposed to say, yes, Hitman, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
Well, I look.
Well, what are we talking about next week, folks?
Yeah. What are we
We'll
doing?
get to that next week.
I haven't really...
I'm just kidding.
I want to add this. We're at show 157, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, really, 157 shows talking about ghosts and paranormal. How much can you talk about this stuff? You got to think about it. We have to come up with this, and we have to come up with the horror hour thing. We really need to hear from the listeners. What do you guys want us to talk about? Is there something you want us to, hear rant about? Do you want us to go back and talk about haunted places, maybe somewhere else? I've put the word out for any ghost hunting teams. I think they're worried we're going to grill them because of our peer reviews that we've done in the past. We're not going to grill you.
No.
That's not the intention. We want to know more about the town you're in. What's the most haunted place? What are some of the cool legends in your town? Stuff like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, it gets hard after a while. So,
Yeah.
It's the way it goes.
No, we're not gonna put you in the crosshairs
We're not
and just
going
fire
to be
away.
mean.
Yeah.
We will not be mean.
Want to see what's going on in your own neck of the woods?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I'll put us into some music. I guess what we will do is, what's your idea, Racer? You got anything?
I got nothing.
I've been going off. Fortunately, we had listeners ask questions this week. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Please keep doing that.
Oh, ectoradio@gmail. It's an easier address to remember. That's where you send everything. ectoradio@gmail.
There you go.
And we'll put it in there. So
Any and all questions.
I'll put it up on Facebook. I'll let the listeners find something to talk about.
Awesome.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, and yep, be back in about 10 or 15, something like that.
Something right.